Yuri Foreman lives in two worlds. As a WBA super welterweight champion, Foreman moves in a physical world, his hands wrapped and then gloved to be used as weapons. As an Orthodox Jew training to become a rabbi, Foreman also inhabits a spiritual world, his hands wrapped in tefillin to remind him of his covenant with God. In one world, Foreman is a master. In the other, he's an apprentice. In the melding of both worlds, he finds serenity and his calling.
Judaism teaches that human person is spiritual and physical. In order to go to the higher levels of being more spiritual, you have to actually delve into physical life.
Foreman, who's 29, is blending these two worlds seamlessly. At 5'11" and 150 pounds, he's undefeated in 29 bouts. In the next 3 years, he'll be ordained an Orthodox rabbi. Foreman began boxing at the age of 7, after he was bullied during a swim class in his native Belarus.
They called me a Jew, and I get beat up. And I came home, and my mom was worried about me, and she decided to take me to boxing gym.
As a teenager in Israel, where his family moved when he was 10, his passion for pugilism only deepened. When he was 19, he moved to New York.
I thought, like, I have to go to the place where boxing is the sport, you know. I came here and America dream.
Foreman survived by hauling racks of clothing around the garment district. At night, he trained at Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, a cradle of champions. His amateur career took off, but something was missing. When did your religious awakening occur?
During the bright suits and garment district, same time boxing, tough times. And I figured that I need some kind of a spiritual backbone.
In 2007, Foreman enrolled in a 5-year rabbinical studies program. Since then, he's attended classes 3 days a week, even as he trains 5 days a week at Gleason's.
At that time, I was already pretty much fascinated by Judaism, and so for me to study in this rabbinical program, it's an opportunity to explore Judaism in more deeper level.
Foreman's fighting style reflects his training as a man of the cloth. In his 29 fights, he's only had 8 knockouts.
He wants to win fights, and he wants to win with skill, and he doesn't want to hurt anybody. After all, he's a future rabbi. Future rabbis don't want to hurt people.
But when necessary, this future rabbi can inflict pain. Fighting last November for the WBA title, Foreman punished the heavily favored reigning champion Daniel Santos.
And new champion of the world, Yuri Foreman.
Now Foreman faces the biggest fight of his career. On June 5th, he'll defend his title for the first time at the new Yankee Stadium against former champion Miguel Cotto of Puerto Rico.
When you're in the ring, I find it a very spiritual moment. Boxing helps me to be more serious about my religion, and the Judaism helps me to be a more serious boxer.
All right, that's Jeremy Schaap. Fascinating story. Keep in mind, it's a major step up in class for Yuri Foreman against a man from lower weight class, Miguel Cotto. But Cotto has fought the world's best. Interesting trend, too, with Pacquiao-Clottey at Cowboys Stadium, and now this fight, again, outdoors in a ballpark.
Now look at downtown Miami on a beautiful night. It's Friday night fights and a festive atmosphere as we're just west of downtown Miami. Fuchs Pavilion at Miami-Dade Expo. And our main event coming your way right now. Undefeated Udell Johnson, 6-0-4 by way of knockout against Juliano Ramos, who is 16-3, 13 KOs, and this one's scheduled for 10 rounds. Juliano Ramos, native of Brazil, said 16-3 and 30 years old. Take a look at our Bioblast now for Juliano Ramos. Got off to a great start in his career. 14-0, 11 KOs, lost a couple of tough fights, including to a top contender, Hermit Cintrone, TKO in the 5th. Now this fight was taken on short notice really last week for Ramos, and does not like fighting the lefties, and he'll deal with one tonight in Udell Johnson. Udell Johnson will turn 29 on Monday. The southpaw from Cuba, fighting here out of Miami. Perfected a little over a year ago. And the Bioblast for Udell. A silver medalist, controversial decision. A lot of people thought that he should have won the gold. He defected to the U.S. in February of 2009. Knocked out the last 3 opponents in the first round. And this will be his first scheduled 10-round fight. Now time now to see how the fighters will keep their edge. Brought to you by Just for Men, Mustache and Beard. Keep your edge.
Well, it's your favorite punch. Use it. Catch him coming in with your left uppercut to the body and the head. And for Ramos, bend like you are going downstairs. Trick him a little bit. And then throw that looping right hand that you like to throw it upstairs.
Well, Udell Johnson, his 7th professional fight. He has his former Olympic teammates with him in the corner. Dennis Despaigne and Guillermo Rigondeaux. And he defected with the 2 of them. So 3 quality fighters coming over to the United States. And this young man with a promising career, the lefty from Cuba. Now the fighters come together. Telis Asimianos will deliver the instructions.
Gentlemen, you have received instructions in the dressing rooms. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands. Good luck. God bless.
Time now to take a look at the ring experience for the main event, brought to you by Cerveza Tecate. And the pro experience advantage obviously goes to Juliano Ramos. You see only 16 total pro rounds for Udell Johnson. And one of the things Johnson said, that tonight is a chance to show on ESPN that Cuban fighters aren't just great amateur fighters, but great pro fighters as well. And we're underway here from Fuchs Pavilion, Miami-Dade Expo, our main event scheduled for 10 rounds, a junior middleweight battle. And Udell Johnson taking it right to Juliano Ramos, very aggressive.
Johnson wants to prove a point here. And he has the right opponent, I believe, in front of him to prove it. Johnson has very fast hands, but the thing that I am taken by is how smooth he is. I would give him a nickname, Silky. He does everything almost without effort. He can change distance, he can counterpunch, he can go fight inside if he has to, but for the most part, he likes to think. And he likes to pick spots, and he loves that left uppercut downstairs and upstairs. You know, Ramos has lost 2 of his last 3, both by knockout, but, you know, he's really been knocked out 3 times in his last 5 fights. If you go back to his 5th fight, he was dropped in the 2nd round with Jose Roman, and the referee stopped it. It was a TKO win for Roman. Ramos was knocked out, but Roman failed the post-fight drug test, and it was reversed and changed to a no contest. So really, Ramos has been knocked out 3 times, and guess what, John? It actually would have been 4 times, because in a bout with Antonio Ramirez, he was dropped in the 6th round. But as the referee was about to administer a count to Ramos, Ramirez kept punching and was disqualified. So it has not been good times for Ramos. He's in a very difficult position with a very experienced amateur.
Now, Ramos said he wanted to come out and pressure Udell Johnson, and in no way, shape, or form has that taken place. Udell Johnson has just come out and pressured Ramos from the start.
See, I think Ramos is very smooth, knows how to fight technically, fast hands, good skill sets. Like I said, he can counter, he can go inside a little bit, loves that left uppercut, but his temperament to me is really to think.